Good day, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. But of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. We have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. And in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you'll be part of my conversation with author Dennis Perkins discussing the year that's been 2022. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In international news, the UN chief, Gore, and others give heated warnings in climate talks. With the world on a highway to climate hell, with our foot on the accelerator, the United Nations chief on Monday told dozens of leaders to cooperate or perish, singling out the two biggest polluting countries, China and the United States. The UN Secretary General wasn't alone in preaching with tones of fire and brimstone to try to shake up the world's sense of urgency at this year's annual UN Climate Conference. Choose life over death, former U.S. Vice President Al Gore urged. It is not time for moral cowardice. Some of the strongest pleas for action came from leaders of poor nations that cause little of the pollution but often get a larger share of the weather-related damage. Several called on developed nations for reparations, which in climate negotiations is called loss and damage. Africa should not pay for crimes they have not committed, the Central African Republican president said, adding that rich nations were to blame for the climate problem. Loss and damage is our daily experience and the living nightmare of millions of Kenyans and hundreds of millions of Africans, they said. Ahead of this year's conference, known as COP27, leaders and experts have been ringing alarm bells that time is running out to avert catastrophic rises in temperature. But the warnings may not have the impact of past meetings because of multiple other challenges putting leaders' attention from midterm elections in the U.S. to the Russia-Ukraine war. In the fight for life on Earth, no one is a bystander, said Jordan's king. Every contribution counts. COP27 has brought us together to link forces and stand our ground. We are at the beginning of a long, challenging, and urgent transformation. More than 100 world leaders will speak over the next days at the gathering in Egypt, most from developing countries, demanding greater accountability from the richest, most polluting nations. In national news, Pelosi opens up about attack on husband. I was very scared, she said. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi held back tears, speaking Monday for the first time about being awakened by pounding on the door as Capitol Police rushed to tell her about the assault on her husband at the family's home in San Francisco. I was very scared, Pelosi told CNN in an interview. I'm thinking my children, my grandchildren. I never thought it would be Paul. On the eve of the midterm elections, the Democratic leader was opening up about the brutal attack as her party struggles against a surge of Republican enthusiasm to keep control of Congress at a time of rising threats of violence against lawmakers and concerns over the U.S. election. Pelosi's husband, Paul, was bludgeoned with a hammer 11 days before the election by an intruder authorities said broke into the family's home and was looking for the speaker before striking the 82-year-old in the head at least once. The intruder told police he wanted to talk to Nancy Pelosi and would break her kneecaps as a lesson to other Democrats. In entertainment news, Rihanna talks motherhood in Super Bowl, saying it was now or never. Rihanna knew that if she was going to return to the stage less than a year after giving birth to her first child, the performance would have to top anything she'd done before. If I'm going to leave my baby, I'm going to leave my baby for something special, the multi-Grammy winner told the Associated Press in an interview. That something special turned out to be the upcoming 2023 Super Bowl halftime show. It was now or never for me, she said. The singer had previously declined to perform in the 2019 halftime show out of solidarity with Colin Kaepernick. But in a recent interview ahead of her Savage X Fenty Show Volume 4, Rihanna said that the timing and circumstances this time around were right for her. It was a challenge that I welcomed. It was a stage bigger than anything I've done before, she said. After the NFL announced in late September that Rihanna would headline the February show, hopeful rumors spread of a long-awaited new album, which she has been teasing for years. In more entertainment news, Jimmy Kimmel to host Oscars again, saying it's a great honor or a trap. Jimmy Kimmel is ready to host the Oscars again, completing a trilogy that started with him presiding over the chaotic Envelope Gate ceremony. The late-night talk show host will preside over the ceremony in March 2023, the show's producers said on Monday. We're super thrilled to have Jimmy score his hat trick on this global stage, the executive producers and showrunners said in a statement. We know he will be funny and ready for anything. And finally, in business news, Wall Street climbs ahead of Election Day and inflation data. Stocks rose on the eve of Election Day as Wall Street looked ahead to the benefits of a possibly split government in Washington, though trading is likely to stay bumpy in a week full of events that could shake the market. The S&P 500 rose 1%, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 1.3%, and the Nasdaq Composite added 0.9%. Analysts say many investors seem to be making bets that Republicans will take control of at least one house of Congress. With a divided government, gridlock is more likely than big, sweeping policy changes that could upend tax and spending plans. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. By yourself, you are nothing and can do nothing. But when you are in tune with the source, you are invincible. As a moon is able to reflect the light of the sun, you can be a reflection of the Creator's love for your fellow man and woman. So let's go make it happen. Have a great Tuesday. We are part of my conversation coming up with author Dennis J. Perkins in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Author Dennis J. Perkins joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the year that's been 2022 and his writing journey. It's a bit of our conversation. Dennis, hello to you and welcome back to the program.
Hey, Cyrus. How are you today?
Hey, doing really good. Glad to be able to speak with you again, Dennis, as always. So, Dennis, you have another book that's out now. I want to talk to you about this feeling because, it seems like for the past 4 years in particular, your journey as an author, having words to say, has really produced not only, I think, some great books, but also really for yourself, I think, another layer of success for you. What has it been like for you to see the response to the books, Dennis?
Man, I tell you, it's been great. A lot of times people will come up to my book table when I go to the book signings, and they'll say, did you write this? And I'm wondering, why do they ask that? Because I'm sitting there and with the books, and I guess they think I work at the store, maybe, or just sitting there trying to promote the book. I said, sure, I wrote it. And they'll inquisitively look at it and they say, And so this is what I believe God wants me to do. He wants me to put things out that are it's thought-provoking. And so we're working on trying to renew minds. That's my whole goal in putting out these books. If I had to say, personally speaking, if I'm going to do something, I'd rather do something that's going to cause thoughts to be provoked. A new way of thinking, seeing things, viewing things. That's what I want.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. Prepare to get on tomorrow, more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's go make it a great one.